Is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is The Buzzard.
From the Barrio Tacos Tequila and Whiskey Studios.
100.7 WMMS, Cleveland.
All right, you want to go see Bill Burr? He is doing that show down in Canton at the Hall of Fame Stadium. Next Saturday night, Bill Burr Live. Go to hofvillage.com. It's going to have all the info for you on the show. Caller 10, you got a couple of tickets here. If you've been hitting me up, this is how you get them. Good luck. 2 for Bill Burr next weekend. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Let's be real. Sleeping with your teacher is hot. Just be careful if you're homeschooled. Mom, stop it.
Now back to the Alan Cox Show on 100.7.
People's minds go to trafficking or gangs or whatever, but they're really trying to drill down and figure out why that is a big problem in Ohio right now. Could it be that they just want to leave Ohio? Could it be that simple? They've been listening to some Electric Six, and nevertheless, the rate of Runaways, or is it Runs Away? Is it like Attorneys General? Is it Runaways or Runs Away?
Runaways. Yeah. But are they runaways or are they
stolen?
Abducted?
That's what they're trying to figure out. Obviously, the worst case scenario is they're being abducted.
You could, you want me to call my brother? Because he's got a whole deep state child trafficking.
The MAGA brother.
Yes. He's got a whole, he sends me TikToks about how Democrats are stealing kids.
And by the way, I would love for those people to actually be concerned about child abductions, but they're not. They're pretending to tag them to Democrats. It's got nothing to do with actually finding abducted children. They think that they're in a basement of a pizza parlor with Hillary Clinton drinking their blood. If they were really, really actually concerned about figuring these things out, that would be great. There's nobody who can't get behind that.
What's that guy's name? He's the guy that Jim Caviezel movie that they said they were banning from theaters is based on.
The Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. Whoever that guy is Mormon, and he is in a big fight with the Mormon church now because there's all these accusations against him and that a lot of the stuff that he was doing was really hinky and that like he'd go and be undercover in these third world countries and find a young woman and be like, you have to pose as my wife.
Yep.
And if you're
Tim Ballard is the guy you're talking about.
And if you're going to pose as my wife, we have to like sleep in the same bed together and like do everything that a husband and wife would do. And the church is like, hey, we don't approve of this guy. We don't like this. And so there's all these Mormons that thought he was the best guy ever. So it's like dividing the church. And it's really wild.
And everybody associated with that movie doesn't want to say anything about it.
Right.
So they made a lot of money on this movie. Now, how many people actually saw it, they don't know. We talked about that when this movie really blew up. They were like, oh, there are a lot of church groups asking people to buy tickets. So they sold a lot of tickets, but there were also a lot of people reporting that they were like, 3/4 empty theaters. So whether or not people actually watch it. Listen, my thought is anyone forming their own anti-child trafficking group, that's hinky.
Yeah.
There are multiple levels of federal law enforcement. And don't give me this nonsense about the deep state. It's always something hinky when these guys take it upon themselves. They either want to be Johnny Big Balls or there's some religious component to it, which gives them a lot of cover publicly. But Tim Ballard was a guy that used to work for DHS. And they made this movie called The Sound of Freedom. It was Jim Caviezel, who was the guy that played Jesus in Passion of the Christ. But in real life, like, the guy's a kook, too. So, but he played this guy, and the movie really blew up. I mean, it made a lot of money, and, but the blowback was pretty swift. where they're like, yeah, this guy's making a lot of this up. And like Bill said, there's all kinds of hinky crap where, well, you have to shower with me as my wife or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how you always have to shower with your spouse?
Right.
Just normal stuff.
Regular old stuff.
Sounds like you're all judgy.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Where's this? Yeah, of course.
I didn't see the movie either, so I mean.
Well, it's not about the movie. This is about the real life stuff that the guy was doing.
The guy.
That
allegedly
is,
You have to judge. If there are organizations that are asking people to put their financial support, their faith in what their stated mission is, it's incumbent upon everybody to judge it. What are you doing? How are you doing it? How does this differ from dedicated law enforcement task forces? You didn't want to work with those people. You want to go off and do your own thing. So that's a red flag. Well, too much bureaucracy. Yes, that can be very true. But you don't think those people would probably want some help? Ohio had double the number of runaways than states with similar populations. Georgia, North Carolina, and Illinois. Most of Illinois is Chicago. You got about 8 million people in that metro area and then about 2 million in the rest of the state.
Again, I think it's weird that they can just classify them as runaways and not...
Well, missing kids.
Yeah, but
they're
kind
of like
runaways.
Some of
missing
them are,
kids sounds
yeah
more accurate.
Well, because some of them, they go, okay, this kid ran away from his foster home.
Okay.
So we know, some people you can track.
Right.
But they're like, why are these numbers so high in Ohio? Like there are only 1,000 more in the state of New York, which has a much bigger population than Ohio. So Cleveland specifically, they're trying to drill down. And you've probably seen, if you've paid attention, like, the mayor has had these press conferences with Mike DeWine and to put a public face on them trying to look like they're doing stuff. And I'm sure they are. But the fact remains is that there's a disproportionate number of missing kids in Ohio.
Is there a chance that this is connected to Poundcake's star rising because he has won Best Sports Talker and now they're afraid because of his past?
Hey, I molest children. I'm really not going to want that sound bite when I get to the top.
Runs for mayor. Oh, you're at the top, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, I molest children.
Bro, you peaked 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, this is as high as you're going. So I'd say savor the flavor, homie. Pound cake. We're just having some fun with you.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to keep us.
We're just having fun with you.
I don't like it.
I do.
Well, Yeah, so it's whatever.
That's scary, though.
It's very scary.
Very scary.
Think of all those parents, all those family members. I mean, each one of those kids has an entire family of people who are, That's why there was a story a couple days ago about this 4-year-old girl in like rural Tennessee or somewhere who like walked off into the woods. And the mom was like, I didn't really think to, look out the back door because we live in the middle of nowhere.
Did she walk off or did she run off?
RUNNOFT?
Yep.
No, this 4-year-old girl, diaper or whatever, she walks off. They find her in the woods, sleeping on the family dog. The dog had followed her, right? Like it's still terrifying if you're a parent, but that's the best case scenario.
Adorable.
It's
ending,
adorable.
yeah.
Yes, it's adorable. It's what you want to
And
see.
that
Just aren't whooping
never
your kid's
happens.
ass anymore.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So obviously a big part of it with Cleveland is there just aren't enough cops. And that puts a lot of people in a weird position. Because if you don't have, again, they rely a lot on the public for leads and things like that. There's a website called clevelandmissing.org that has a lot of information there. But I don't know. Now, the flip side of that is if you have too many children. There's a school in suburban Philly. One of our Philadelphia bureau chiefs sent me. His wife is a teacher at this school. Suburban Philadelphia. There's a school that has 17 sets of twins in the kindergarten class.
Sheesh.
Ew.
He said ew.
But imagine you're the teacher, one of the teachers.
They're switcherooing
You're
on
like, Carmen, Jaden, Braden, Layden, yeah, whatever his dumb names are. Hey, Phyllis.
Phyllis.
Is Phyllis a thing anymore? Is that a name?
No.
Nobody?
There's no baby Phyllis's.
No, are you
that'd be
sure?
great.
Baby Phyllis?
Are twins on the decline or on the incline? Like,
Ah.
or have they?
I don't know.
I mean, it was trending on Netflix a couple weeks ago when they first put it back on there, but I think it's declining again.
Bill Squire live at the Agora on December 22nd.
Oh.
Tickets are on sale now or win them on the Alan Cox Show all week at 5:20. Special guest me.
Yeah,
Me too.
Special guest you.
Special guest the Mary Santora.
And will Brian be there with Mary or will Brian be there with Poundcake?
Honestly, by that time of year, we'll see.
Yeah.
That's 3 months.
Wow, you got time to
October,
prep.
November, December. Almost exactly 3 months.
I might find a boyfriend
Say again?
before then, too. I might have a boyfriend before then.
Not my
You
boy.
might have but it won't be Mary's.
That's what I'm saying. So she's fine.
He's got to find
Wait,
some, a
are you
replacement.
seeing somebody again?
No, I said I might have
Okay.
one.
All right,
I'm
well-
giving
That's a
myself.
long time.
I'm sorry. Are you implying that the only way she'll keep Brian is if you are otherwise engaged with
table.
I might not want
If
him.
you're I see. So it just has to do with whether or not you want him.
Right.
I see.
Brian's already in.
Yeah.
In Cody's fantasy mind,
Yep.
Just
all he
waiting.
has to do is ask.
Just gotta slide in those DMs.
I think the worst mistake I ever made was showing, when Brian and I very first started talking, was showing Cody a D-pic. That was probably the worst thing
Does
I
Brian know that you did that?
Yeah.
Why would you show Poundcake your boyfriend's
Because we weren't
D?
boyfriend and girlfriend yet. I thought this was going to be like
But
a
you
fling.
were seeing the guy.
I thought it was going to be like a casual type of thing. And I was like, dude, check out what I'm pulling. And then now we're in love.
See, and that's how you know I'm so good at keeping secrets, because I never said that. I didn't say it to you guys, and I never said it to Brian. Mary, the only way Brian knew was because Mary told him.
Yeah.
So you guys think I just have a big mouth? Think
No,
I'm
Cody's a good secret keeper.
I know you can keep a secret,
My
but I know as soon as your back's against the wall,
Oh,
you're
those secrets are
spilling it.
flying out. Yeah.
But you
Yeah, but
would
it's
never know.
it's the things he doesn't keep secret. that-
Hey, I molest children. You know,
so many things he should keep to
I
himself.
at least want you guys to be aware, so therefore you guys can prepare yourselves.
Alan, there's a 60% divorce rate in Cuyahoga County. That means a lot of custody disputes.
Oh,
Yeah, that.
that would do it.
That's probably that sounds very high, but I mean that I'm sure that's.
But I believe it. Everybody getting divorced.
Yeah.
It's all the dating apps are. People that just got divorced.
Alan, vasectomies, yes, it was the best thing I ever did. That's what this guy says. I'm 33 years old, no kids, pumping hot loads into my wife without a care in the world. Oh, that's a big load. Oh, man, that guy should be doing commercials for vasectomy.org.
He said it was such a
Pumping.
I'll tell you what.
Alan, you have to remember some children are actually found, but they don't talk about that.
Who?
Well,
Who doesn't?
I don't law enforcement. I don't know.
We
I mean,
talked about the kid that was found sleeping on the dog.
well,
Take that.
and also the numbers are that high. Even if they do talk about it, it's not going to cross most
found
people's
one,
radar.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, they probably, yes. If you go to that website or whatever, I guarantee you, anytime they find a kid, they're putting the information out there somewhere. We're not paying attention to that. We're not getting news alerts from missingchildren.org. What were you saying, Cody?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Sorry.
I know what it was.
Hey, I molest children. No, it wasn't that.
Wasn't that?
No.
Because we already know that. I mean, it was, oof.
Well, that's why he didn't have to say it.
Yeah.
No, I forget what it was.
Okay. Alan, maybe all those kids' dials are stuck on WMMS like mine, and they're at their breaking point. I like that notion, like it's the 80s, that people have a dial that's stuck on the radio station.
Can't
I do
change
enjoy
it.
Yeah, like the old TVs where if the dial broke off, you had to get a needle nose pliers to turn the channel.
And we had that for so.
Of course. Dad's like, I'm not buying a new goddamn dial. Here's the
Well,
needle nose pliers.
We just
pre-remote.
had that TV. I think it broke off when we moved from Strongsville to Medina.
Yeah.
And we had that TV for like 2 more years. And we just had the needle nose pliers that were on top of the TV. You just
That's what you used.
That's what you used. And that's what we did.
I remember when we got a new television. I was a freshman in high school. So this would have been like 1985. We get a new television, state of the art, Magnavox. Now, this thing did not have a remote, but the front of it had push buttons. And we were like, oh, my God. It had the numbers, look like a phone. You just dial in the channel. I was like, holy cow. I mean, in retrospect, I don't know why the hell this thing didn't have a remote that came with it. But we were just so happy to be able to push buttons instead of the VHF and the UHF.
It was probably like $8 more.
Right, yeah.
It's like, we can stand up and change the channel.
Yeah, but even then, I think they came with the TV.
Could you imagine? Well, I guess there's no buttons anymore. I was going to say, could you imagine trying to sell a TV without a remote nowadays? But you physically couldn't.
I mean,
you can buy universal remotes too. I mean,
right, but
there are a couple buttons. There's like the volume and the power.
My phone is a remote.
I was going to say, well, my Roku, there's a remote on it. Yeah, you do everything from there. But I'm surprised at how expensive remotes are still. Like if you want to buy a remote, like a universal remote, or because people have so many components, huh?
They're like $20.
There's like $100 remotes.
There are $100 ones, but
I think I need a new remote, or just use my phone instead. Because do you guys remember what the keyboard looked like back at Oak Tree?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what your remote was like?
That's what my
You're not going to have a boyfriend like that.
Well, I'll go to his house and use his TV.
Gross.
But I only use my phone as a backup. But the one that came with my TV, I still have. And it's just, you can tell what buttons get pushed the most because they always have like a ring around them.
Yuck, man. Are the numbers worn off?
Yeah.
Like I have.
Letters are worn off.
Why does this look wet? Oh, that's grease.
I can't help it.
My numbers are like on the volume button, like that has worn off, but it's not greasy or gross. It's just, the TV's 4 years old now.
Alan, my dad was a master plumber, and we used vice grips on our hot water in our bathtub for 2 years.
Yeah,
His
like,
dad
I'm
was
not doing
dropping
work
hot